Thank you very much for joining Energy Live News, Dr. Borja Pozo. Actually, when we read the research that engineers are working on a system to convert astronaut wastewater into fuel on Mars using the power of sun, we could hardly believe it. Can you tell us a little bit more about this research?
Yes, hello, and thank you very much, Dimitris. It's quite simple but complex at the same time. The idea is to convert the air of Mars, that is CO2, in 95% into space propellants for future Mars missions. And we use astronaut sewage treatment or gray waters like electrolyte to help in the reactor that will convert the air of Mars into space propellant to help these reactions and convert the basic elements to methane.
Can you please tell us in simple words how this system will work and which is the role, specifically the role of wastewater in the whole process?
We have a reactor, and the reactor is going to take the air and it will make some electrochemical reactions to convert from CO2 to methane. The electrochemical reactions will need electrical energy. So the electrical energy will be achieved with a solar cell or a photovoltaic cell that will achieve the sunlight of Mars and help in these chemical reactions. In these chemical reactions between CO2 and CH4, we have to have some kind of liquids to help in the reaction, to change from one element to the other ones. So the astronauts' gray water sewage residues, we take it and we help. We make the conversion. It's like if we want to convert some elements in other, we need some extra elements. I've been speaking in chemical way. And the astronauts' gray water is going to help and to provide the final propellant that will be methane. It's true that the sewage is not finally the propellant. It helps producing the propellant for a space rocket.
Have you estimated how much of this new fuel, in terms of quantity, will this reactor be able to produce during this process?
Yes, it's one of our main objectives during the project. It can work continuously because we have air continuously, so it can be producing a lot of propellant continuously. The main problem is that we don't have sun or light during the nights like in Earth. So between 8-10 hours, we are going to produce. So right now, the prototype is going to be quite small, more or less, and it's a prototype. But one of the main objectives is to say, okay, we are going to produce in a scalable prototype or product for the future, which will be the amount, but we will not have the final result until the end of the project. We know that the 5%, we are going to improve the efficiency of these systems from 3% to 5%. So it's a huge improvement. I know that I'm speaking a low efficiency values, but for this technology is a very big, we are doubling the system. So at the end of the project, we will know which will be the amount of propellant that we can make with the Mars air and astronauts' gray waters.
So as I can understand, you mentioned that this project is on a prototype model. So when do you think that it would be possible to see it working on Mars?
This is the first prototype that is going to be in real way, in a small size and scalable, not in laboratory, tested on Mars conditions for the first time for the human exploration for Mars. In reality, when we will go, I mean, the humanity, NASA, ESA, or any other agency will go there to Mars, that it's scheduled for 2030s, 2035, 2038. We will want to send one of these to Mars. So I will say in 15 years, more or less, it will be reasonable to be there and tested on Mars.
When did you start with this research, and which was the main purpose of it?
We started the research at the start of this year, 2022, and it's going to have 18 months of duration, or we have this time to develop the prototype. The main purpose of the research, we have two main purposes from ESA. ESA is a project that we are developing. The main purpose is to develop the first system that can produce space propellant on Mars, just to reduce cost and be able missions to Mars, missions with humans, with astronauts, and come back to the Earth. And the other purpose is to help in the climate change of the Earth, because this system can be used on Earth. we can take CO2 that produced by industries and change to achieve other kind of products and don't send the CO2 to the atmosphere. So it has the two main objectives, the Mars or space exploration objective, and also to help in the climate change combat.
Do you think that this system could be applicable on other sectors on Earth?
Yes, it can be, as I have said, in industry, but also in, for example, in big ships that they produce CO2 and they produce great water from tourists or people on the ships or boats, but also on any kind of system that produce CO2 and we have some kind of water, it can be applicable. So it can be a very big help for climate change and to reduce the CO2 production. We are not going to reduce the CO2 production. We are going to reduce sending CO2 to the atmosphere. So always space exploration technology, the main objective is, okay, always to go to space and to help the space exploration, but also to apply this kind of technology on Earth to help to people.
I know that you are also an analog astronaut, which means that you probably are engaged in these simulations regarding space flights. I'm just wondering if you have tried this system that is being presented on your research during these simulations.
No, but I'm trying to, right now, no, because my experience has been before the project. But as an astronaut, right now in this project, when I participate, the gray water was produced more or less 1 year ago, so it's not usable. But yes, I'm in contact with this kind of analog research stations for analog missions to produce the gray water and to use it in our project. Because it's not the same to produce gray water when we are doing usual life with usual products, and they can provide us better real gray water that can be produced by astronauts, that it's more near to future gray water. So we will use this kind of gray water produced in our missions for the project because it can improve the results.